energy prices, people's electric bills, and lowering people's prescription prices. That's one of the things that I hear from constituents across my Senate district and across the state. APCO bills are too high, even Dominion energy bills are too high, and prescription prices are too high. APCO bill, we had some success. I carried a bill in the Senate, and Jason Ballard carried it in the House. We had support from Tim, Eric, everybody was working hard to try and lower these electric bills. There's a thought that we need to deregulate this part of the state all the way through Southwest Virginia, where APCO has the monopoly, not the utility monopoly, and their prices have gone up dramatically. That bill did not go through, but what we were able to do is put on some caps. They can't raise energy prices or electric prices during the winter months. They cannot cut people. They can't charge interest rates or reconnection fees for 6 months and no late fees for 6 months. And we were able to help them, they should be able to refinance some assets and cut future rates. Unfortunately, only about 10% probably for most folks, so it was not as dramatic as we would have liked, but it's a start, and we're gonna continue to work with them. I think they've gotten everybody's attention, and they know they're under a microscope, so hopefully we'll continue to work in the next year on energy prices, continue to bring some bills to look at that. We don't want government control, but there needs to be some accountability as to what they do, especially when you consider the government pays for almost all of these drugs for our Medicare and Medicaid citizens, and then insurance sets the rest of the price. It's really not a free market as it is because government is so involved. So we've got to do something to try and bring those prices down. Is energy. And the Virginia Green New Deal, the tax on energy, APCO has to be all carbon-free by 2045. Dominion has to be all carbon-free by 2050. And I can tell you, there's much chance of Tim and I flying to the moon as there is of our energy being all carbon-free by 2045 and 2050. It's just not going to happen. The technology's not there. It's just not a possibility. Bringing in all the data centers, so our energy demands are tripling, and yet we're limiting what we can supply. It just is not going to work. So that's something that's going to have to be addressed eventually. Our layoff from the federal government, the governor, as Tim said, has set up the program with our employment career folks to get them working immediately in private sector jobs. I don't think this is like the sequester that we had a decade ago, maybe, where if the budget, certain budget guidelines weren't hit, they just cut spending by 2%, a large number of which were in the defense industry, which really affected the Virginia Beach, Newport News area, and then Northern Virginia some. I don't think it's gonna have that effect where we saw a 2% drop in the state GDP. I don't think these employees alone will cause that type of problem. First of all, they will get a certain amount of unemployment while they're searching for new jobs, federal or state, so that money will still be coming in to the economy. And I think these are highly trained people in Northern Virginia, highly educated with very good skills. I think they will be able to transition into private employment relatively easy. The bigger concern is just a downturn in the overall economy due to the fact that we've had an incredible stream of GDP, stock market highs. We're just not going to continue to have billion-dollar surpluses.